Hello, everyone. Tonight, as you settle into stillness, we're going to journey somewhere ancient, somewhere primal, somewhere misunderstood, to the world of serpents, creatures that have mastered one of nature's most sophisticated weapons. A weapon that isn't just deadly, but intelligent. The venom of snakes. These elegant predators, often feared, often misunderstood, but carrying within them chemical complexity that would astound any biochemist. They don't just inject poison, they deploy precisely calibrated molecular cocktails, adapted over millions of years, refined for specific purposes, intelligent in their design. How do they do this? How do creatures without hands, without tools, without laboratories, create venoms of such specificity, such precision, such deadly elegance? Tonight, we'll drift through their secrets one by one, gently exploring each aspect of venom intelligence, each adaptation, each chemical marvel. There's no rush. Let yourself sink deeper, and together, we'll discover how snakes became masters of molecular warfare. But before that, gently tap the like button and subscribe. It would make me happy. Let's begin our journey into their venomous world. The first marvel is the venom itself. But calling it just venom, just poison, is like calling a symphony just noise. Snake venom is a masterpiece of biochemistry, a complex mixture of proteins, enzymes, and peptides. Each component serving a specific purpose, working together in perfect coordination. Some venoms contain over 100 different compounds, each one precisely calibrated. And here's what's remarkable. Snakes can control their venom. They can choose how much to inject or whether to inject any at all. A defensive bite might be dry, no venom released, just a warning. A hunting bite receives the full dose, perfectly measured for the prey's size. This is called venom metering, and it's extraordinary. It means snakes aren't mindless killing machines. They're strategic, they're economical. Venom is expensive to produce, metabolically costly, taking days to replenish. So they use it wisely, only when necessary, in the exact amount needed. The venom glands sit behind the eyes, on either side of the head. Connected to hollow fangs or grooved teeth, delivery systems perfected over millions of years. When the snake strikes, muscles contract around the glands, forcing venom through ducts into the fangs and into the victim. The whole process takes milliseconds. Strike, inject, release. And the venom begins its work immediately, spreading through tissue, entering the bloodstream. Each type of venom works differently, designed for different purposes. Hemotoxic venoms destroy blood cells and tissue, causing hemorrhaging, breaking down flesh. Neurotoxic venoms attack the nervous system, causing paralysis, stopping breathing, shutting down vital functions. Cytotoxic venoms destroy cells at the bite site, causing massive local damage and necrosis. Many venoms are combinations, mixtures of effects, multifaceted weapons. The specific formula depends on the snake species, on what they hunt, on how they've evolved. The story begins over 60 million years ago, perhaps earlier. The ancestors of venomous snakes were probably constricting snakes, squeezing their prey to death. But some populations developed modified salivary glands, glands that produced proteins with toxic effects. At first, these proteins were probably just mildly irritating, barely harmful. But even a slight advantage in hunting, a prey animal that weakened faster, that struggled less, that was easier to swallow, gave those snakes a survival edge. They caught more food, survived better, produced more offspring. And those offspring inherited the slightly more toxic saliva. Generation after generation, the toxicity increased. The proteins became more specialized. Natural selection refining the formula, selecting for deadlier compounds, for more effective delivery. Different snake lineages evolved venom independently, multiple times throughout history. Elapids like cobras and mambas, vipers like rattlesnakes and adders, colubrids like the boomslang, each group developing their own venom types, their own delivery systems, their own specializations. And within each group, species continued to diversify, to specialize further. Snake venom became adapted to specific prey types, specific hunting strategies. A snake that hunts birds evolved venom that works quickly, stopping flight before the bird escapes. A snake that hunts rodents evolved venom that disrupts the rodent's specific physiology. A snake that hunts other snakes evolved venom that works on reptile biology. Each venom formula a solution to a specific problem, refined by millions of years of trial and error. The result is incredible diversity. Over 600 species of venomous snakes, each with unique venom. Some venoms so specialized they barely affect animals, outside their normal prey range. This is molecular warfare, evolved and perfected, more sophisticated than anything humans have designed. We humans, we're fascinated by venom, and rightly so. We've studied it, analyzed it, tried to replicate it. We've developed anti-venoms, medicines derived from venom compounds. Snake venom has given us treatments for heart disease, for blood disorders, for pain. Captopril, a blood pressure medication used by millions, was developed from Brazilian pit viper venom. Drugs for stroke prevention, for cancer treatment, all inspired by snake venom chemistry. We're learning from them, these ancient predators, unlocking medical secrets in their molecular weapons. But we didn't design these compounds. We just discovered them, already perfected by evolution. Snakes have been developing these chemicals for 60 million years. We've been studying them for maybe 100 years, and we're still learning, still discovering new compounds, new applications. Every snake venom is a chemical library, a collection of potential medicines. And we've barely scratched the surface of what's there, what's possible. Picture a forest floor at dusk, shadows lengthening, temperature dropping. A Russell's viper, brown and patterned, lies coiled near a rodent trail. She's been here for hours, perfectly still, waiting with the patience of stone. A field mouse appears, small, cautious, sniffing the air. It moves along the trail, unaware of the danger coiled in the shadows. The viper's heat-sensing pits detect the mouse's warmth, tracking its movement with precision. The mouse comes closer, closer, and then the strike. Faster than the eye can follow, faster than thought. Fangs extend forward, jaws open impossibly wide, and contact. The venom injection takes 200 milliseconds, less than a quarter second. The viper releases immediately, pulls back, lets the mouse go. The mouse runs, frightened, but already doomed. The venom is spreading through its bloodstream, traveling to its heart, its lungs. Within seconds, the mouse stumbles. Within a minute, it stops, breathing slowing. Within 2 minutes, it's still, dead or dying. The viper follows slowly, tongue flicking, tracking the scent trail. She finds the mouse where it fell, begins the slow process of swallowing. She used exactly the right amount of venom, not too much, not too little. Perfect calibration, perfect economy, perfect intelligence. All achieved through instinct, through genetic programming refined over countless generations. No thought required, just perfect execution of a perfect design. There's something profound about venom intelligence. It's not conscious intelligence, not awareness, not thought, but it is intelligence in design, in adaptation, in precision. The snake doesn't understand chemistry, doesn't know about proteins and enzymes, but her venom does exactly what it needs to do with perfect specificity. That's evolutionary intelligence, accumulated wisdom of millions of generations. Each generation testing the formula, the survivors passing on the best versions, until the venom becomes not just effective, but optimal, perfectly suited to purpose. It reminds us that intelligence isn't just in brains, isn't just in minds. Intelligence can be written into molecules, into chemistry, into biological systems. The snake's venom is intelligent because evolution is intelligent, because natural selection is intelligent. Not through consciousness, but through relentless testing, endless refinement. The best solutions survive. The best designs spread, the best formulas persist. And after enough time, what emerges is something that looks designed, because it is. Designed by nature, by pressure, by survival itself. Now, let's talk about something even more remarkable. The specificity of venom, how precisely targeted it is. Different snake species have venoms adapted to their specific prey. This isn't random. This is precision engineering. A sea snake's venom is incredibly potent against fish, working quickly in their physiology. But that same venom might be far less effective against a mammal, a bird, a different kind of animal, because it's optimized for fish biology, for fish blood chemistry, for fish nervous systems. Similarly, a rattlesnake's venom is optimized for the small mammals it hunts, devastating to rats and mice, perfectly calibrated to their size and physiology. But the amount needed to affect a human is much larger, because we're bigger, our chemistry different. This specificity exists because venom is metabolically expensive to produce. A snake can't afford to make a universal supervenom that works on everything. Instead, it makes exactly what it needs, optimized for exactly what it hunts. This is efficiency. This is elegance. This is intelligent design by natural selection. And remarkably, some snakes can even adjust their venom composition throughout their lives. Young snakes and adult snakes of the same species sometimes have different venom profiles because they hunt different prey at different life stages. A baby rattlesnake might hunt lizards and eat more lizards than adult snakes. An adult rattlesnake hunts larger mammals, rodents primarily, and their venom compositions shift to match, to optimize for their current diet. The genes are there for producing different compounds. The snake's body adjusts which ones to emphasize. This is called ontogenetic venom variation, and it's extraordinary. It means the venom intelligence isn't just species level, isn't just fixed. It's adaptive within an individual's lifetime, responding to needs, to diet, to circumstances. This adaptation evolved because snakes that could adjust their venom did better. They hunted more efficiently at every life stage, wasted less energy, survived more consistently. And that flexibility, that adaptability was selected for, became encoded in their genetics. Natural selection favoring not just the best venom, but the most adaptable venom systems. Different snake populations of the same species can have different venom. Rattlesnakes in different regions, hunting different local prey, evolve different venom profiles. Same species, different chemistry, because different environments present different challenges. This is evolution in action, happening now, continuing to refine and optimize. The venom intelligence is still evolving, still adapting, still becoming more precisely calibrated. We humans, we make medicines, we make drugs, We synthesize compounds, but we do it in laboratories, with equipment, with years of education and research. We identify a target, design a molecule to interact with it, test it through trials. It's a conscious process, expensive, time-consuming, often failing. Snakes do something similar, but through evolution, through natural selection. Their venom targets specific biological systems, specific cellular processes. It's been tested through millions of trials, every hunter test, every successful kill validation. The failures died out or didn't reproduce. The successes spread, and the result is a library of compounds that rivals anything humans have created. We're still discovering how these venoms work, what all the components do. Each new study reveals more complexity, more precision, more intelligence in the design. We've learned about coagulation from snake venom, about blood pressure regulation, about pain pathways. Medical advances that might have taken us centuries to discover independently. And there are still hundreds of snake venoms we've barely studied, barely analyzed. Each one a potential treasure trove of medical insights, of therapeutic compounds. The snakes created this knowledge, encoded it in their venom over millions of years. We're just beginning to read it, to understand it, to apply it. Imagine a cobra in the grasslands of Africa. The sun is setting. A young mongoose approaches, curious, aggressive, looking for food. The cobra rises up, spreads its hood, a warning display. The mongoose doesn't retreat. It's fast, it's experienced, it's confident. The cobra has a choice: flee or fight. Venom is precious, but survival is more precious. The mongoose lunges. The cobra strikes. But this isn't a feeding strike. This is defense. The cobra injects venom, but not the full dose, just enough to deter, to harm, to teach a lesson. The mongoose yelps, pulls back, begins to feel the effects. Not lethal, the mongoose is somewhat resistant, but painful, debilitating, memorable. It retreats, having learned that cobras are dangerous, that this prey fights back. The cobra lowers its hood, slips away into the grass. She preserved most of her venom, used only what was necessary, survived the encounter. Strategic deployment, measured response, intelligent use of a limited resource. All without conscious thought, all through instinct shaped by millions of years. The snakes that wasted venom on defensive strikes, that emptied their glands unnecessarily, they struggled to hunt afterward, sometimes starved. The snakes that metered carefully, that used just enough, they survived better. And that behavior, that careful economy, spread through populations, became the norm. Now all snakes do it. All snakes meter venom. All snakes strike with intelligence, even in defense. There's wisdom in this kind of resource management, using exactly what's needed, no more, no less. Not out of consciousness, not from moral consideration, but from evolutionary pressure, from the simple fact that waste leads to death and efficiency leads to survival. Maybe we could learn from this about our own resources, our own precious reserves. Energy, time, attention, love, all finite, all costly to replenish. The snake teaches us. Use them wisely, use them strategically, don't waste them. Save them for when they truly matter, for when they'll be most effective. And in doing so, you'll have enough, you'll survive, you'll thrive. Now let's explore the delivery system, the fangs themselves. Because venom is only useful if it can be delivered, and snakes have evolved remarkable ways to do this. Different snake groups have different fang designs, each optimized for their hunting style. Vipers have long, hinged fangs that fold back when the mouth is closed. These fangs can be incredibly long, sometimes an inch or more, allowing deep injection. When the viper strikes, the fangs rotate forward 90 degrees, extend, pierce, inject, then fold back again, protected, safe, ready for next time. This design allows for maximum penetration, deep delivery of venom, high efficiency. Elapids like cobras and mambas have shorter, fixed fangs in the front of the mouth. These don't fold. They're always erect, always ready. Shorter than viper fangs, but still hollow, still efficient, designed for quick strikes. Elapid hunting strategy is different. Strike, hold on, wait for the venom to work. So the fangs don't need to be as long. They need to be reliable, fast, effective. Colubrids, the rear-fanged snakes, have grooved fangs at the back of the mouth. These snakes often need to chew their prey to work venom into the wound. Less efficient than the others, but effective for their purposes, their prey, their style. Each fang design is a solution to a different problem, optimized through evolution. And the fangs themselves are replaced regularly throughout the snake's life. New fangs grow in behind the old ones, ready to take over if a fang breaks, wears down, is lost. This redundancy, this backup system, it ensures the venom delivery system never fails. A snake might have multiple replacement fangs at various stages of development. If a fang breaks during a strike, a new one is ready within days, sometimes hours. This reliability evolved because snakes that lost their fangs and couldn't hunt died. Snakes with good replacement systems, with backup fangs, survived, reproduced. And now all venomous snakes have this feature, this beautiful redundancy built in. The fangs are made of the same material as teeth, harder than bone, sharp as needles. Hollow like hypodermic needles, with a channel running through the center. Or grooved like a riverbed, channeling venom along the surface. Either way, the design is efficient, effective, perfected. Engineers studying snake fangs have been inspired to design better needles, better injection systems, medical devices based on fang structure, painless, efficient, biomimetic. Once again, we learn from snakes, from millions of years of evolutionary engineering. They solved the problem of efficient drug delivery long before we existed. Picture a gaboon viper, massive, thick-bodied, beautifully patterned in browns and tans. She's coiled in the leaf litter of an African rainforest, perfectly camouflaged. Her fangs are the longest of any snake, nearly 2 inches long, capable of injecting venom deep into large prey. A duiker, a small antelope, picks its way through the forest, feeding on fallen fruit. It steps near the viper, unaware, focused on food. The viper's body tenses, muscles coiling, preparing. The duiker takes another step, too close. The strike is explosive, incredibly fast for such a large snake. Jaws open impossibly wide, fangs rotate forward, pierce the duiker's leg. The injection takes less than a second. Massive amounts of potent venom flooding in. The viper releases immediately, not wanting to be kicked, to be injured. The duiker bolts, terrified, running through the forest. But it doesn't get far. The venom is overwhelming, devastating to its circulatory system. Within a minute, it's weakening. Within 3 minutes, it collapses. The viper follows slowly, carefully, tongue tasting the air, tracking the trail. She finds the duiker where it fell, dead or dying. No longer dangerous. She begins the long process of swallowing, jaws unhinging, body stretching. It will take an hour to fully consume this meal, but it's worth it. She won't need to hunt again for a month, maybe longer. One perfect strike, one perfect injection, one perfect meal. all enabled by fangs designed by evolution, refined over millions of years. Longer than any other snakes, perfectly suited to her prey, her strategy, her needs. There's beauty in functional design, in form perfectly following function. The Gaboon viper's fangs are beautiful, not because they're pretty, but because they're perfect. Perfect for their purpose, optimized in every dimension, flawless in execution. This is what evolution creates when given enough time, enough pressure, enough generations. Not just adequate solutions, but optimal ones, elegant ones, beautiful ones. Maybe we could appreciate this beauty in function, this elegance in purpose, in nature, in design, in our own lives. When something works perfectly, there's grace in it. Not decoration, not ornament, but pure function, pure purpose, pure effectiveness. The beauty of the blade, the arrow, the perfectly thrown stone. The beauty of something doing exactly what it's meant to do and doing it perfectly. Finally, let's talk about the future of venom and what it teaches us. Snake venom continues to evolve, continues to adapt, even now in the present day. As prey evolves resistance, venom evolves to overcome that resistance. As environments change, as new prey becomes available, venom compositions shift to match. This is an ongoing arms race, an evolutionary conversation between predator and prey. And it never ends, will never end, as long as both species exist. Some prey species have evolved remarkable resistance to specific snake venoms. California ground squirrels have resistance to northern Pacific rattlesnake venom. Mongooses have some resistance to cobra venom, though not complete. Immunity. Opossums have resistance to many pit viper venoms through unique proteins in their blood. These resistances evolved because the prey that survived snake bites reproduced, passed on their resistance genes. And in response, snake venom evolved to become more potent, to overcome that resistance. Back and forth, generation after generation, neither side ever winning permanently. Just endless adaptation, endless counter-adaptation, endless evolutionary innovation. This teaches us something profound about nature, about life. There are no final solutions, no permanent victories, no finished products. Everything is in flux. Everything is adapting. Everything is becoming. The venom that's perfect today might be inadequate tomorrow. The resistance that works now might fail next generation. Life is a process, not a destination. Evolution never stops, never rests, never finishes. And we're part of this. We're in this flow, this endless dance of adaptation. Our medicines stop working as bacteria evolve resistance. Our strategies stop working as circumstances change. What worked before might not work now. What works now might not work later. And that's okay. That's natural. That's how it's supposed to be. The snake doesn't lament that its venom isn't perfect, isn't permanent. It just continues, adapts, evolves, responds to the present moment. Each generation slightly different, slightly better adapted to current conditions. There's wisdom in this flexibility, this acceptance of change, this willingness to evolve. Scientists are now studying how to use venom components as medicines, as tools, as resources. We've created drugs from venom that save millions of lives each year. Blood pressure medications, anticoagulants, pain relievers, all derived from snake venom. And there's so much more we haven't discovered yet, haven't unlocked, haven't applied. Each species of venomous snake is like a pharmaceutical company, producing dozens of unique compounds. And there are 600 species, thousands of compounds we've barely studied, barely understand. The potential for medical breakthroughs is enormous, almost limitless. Cancer treatments, nerve regeneration, chronic pain management, all possibilities hidden in venom. The snakes created these compounds for killing, for hunting, for survival. But we can repurpose them for healing, for helping, for saving lives. That's the strange duality of venom: deadly and healing, dangerous and helpful. The same compound that stops a heart can also restart one, regulate one, heal one. It all depends on dose, on application, on understanding. And that understanding comes from studying snakes, respecting them, learning from them. Not fearing them, not hating them, but appreciating them for what they are. Ancient predators, yes. Dangerous, yes. But also teachers, healers, contributors to our knowledge. Let's step back now and see the whole story, the evolutionary journey of venom, intelligence. It begins over 60 million years ago, perhaps as far back as 100 million years. Snakes evolving from lizard-like ancestors, losing their legs, adapting to new niches. Some lineages developing modified saliva glands, producing proteins with mild toxic effects. At first, barely noticeable, barely useful, just a slight advantage. But advantages compound, advantages spread, advantages become essential. Over millions of years, the toxins became more potent, more specialized, more diverse. Different snake lineages independently evolving venom multiple times. Convergent evolution. Each time, natural selection refining the formula, optimizing the delivery, perfecting the system. By 30 million years ago, most modern venomous snake families existed, their venom systems established. Vipers spreading through Asia, Europe, Africa, the Americas. Elapids spreading through Africa, Asia, Australia, the Pacific Islands. Colubrids diversifying everywhere, some lineages developing venom, others remaining non-venomous. Each species, each population continuing to refine, continuing to adapt, continuing to evolve, specializing for local prey, local conditions, local challenges, until we arrived at today, at the present, at this moment. Over 600 species of venomous snakes, each with unique venom, unique adaptations, unique intelligence. Each one a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, a library of biochemical knowledge. Each one perfectly adapted to its environment, its prey, its life. And the evolution continues, never stopping, never finished, always becoming. No individual snake understands venom, understands biochemistry, understands molecular warfare. But the species understands, evolution understands, the accumulated wisdom of millions of generations. And that understanding is expressed not in books, not in theories, but in the venom itself. In the precise composition, in the calibrated dose, in the optimized delivery. Millions of years of knowledge compressed into instinct, expressed through biology. That's the deep story, the evolutionary story of venom intelligence. Not through consciousness, not through thought, but through selection, through survival, through time. Until molecules became weapons, became medicines, became teachers for those willing to learn. So, here we are, at the end of our journey into the venomous world. We've drifted through the secrets, the superpowers of molecular warfare. The venom itself, complex, calibrated, intelligent in its design. The specificity, precisely adapted to prey, to purpose, to need. The delivery system, fangs perfected, redundant, beautifully functional. The ongoing evolution, arms races, adaptations, endless refinement. And we've seen how it all emerged slowly over millions of years. Each compound a solution to a challenge, each adaptation refined by survival, until snakes became what they are, masters of biochemical precision. But here's what strikes me most as we prepare to drift into sleep. The snake doesn't know it's intelligent, doesn't understand what it carries. To each snake, the venom is just part of being, part of existing, part of hunting. It doesn't marvel at the complexity, doesn't appreciate the precision. It just uses what it has, trusts what evolution gave it, lives its life. And the venom works perfectly, reliably, because millions of years made it so. Not through understanding, but through testing, through survival, through time. And maybe that's the real lesson, the thing worth carrying into sleep. That intelligence isn't always conscious, isn't always intentional. Sometimes the deepest intelligence is written into our bodies, our instincts, our being. Knowledge we don't know we have, wisdom we can't articulate, perfection we can't explain. The snake's venom is intelligent because evolution is intelligent. And we are products of evolution too, carrying our own kind of intelligence. Not in venom, perhaps, but in other systems, other adaptations, other gifts. Things that work perfectly without us understanding why, without us controlling how. Our immune system fighting infections, our heart beating without thought, our cells dividing, repairing, maintaining, all below consciousness. Intelligence woven into our biology, refined over millions of years. We don't need to understand everything about ourselves to trust ourselves. The snake doesn't understand venom, but uses it perfectly. Maybe we don't need to understand everything either. Just trust the wisdom already present. Trust the instincts, trust the feelings, trust the intelligence of the body, the unconscious, the depths. Not blind trust, but informed trust. Trust earned through millions of years of survival. Your ancestors survived everything nature threw at them, every challenge, every threat. Their wisdom, their adaptations, their intelligence lives in you now. In your cells, in your reflexes, in your instincts, in your responses. You carry millions of years of successful survival, of tested solutions, of proven designs. So as you drift off tonight, let that settle in. The image of a serpent, coiled, calm, confident in what it carries. Not needing to understand, not needing to control, just trusting the venom to work, the fangs to strike true, the instinct to guide. You are like this, carrying intelligence you don't consciously know. Wisdom written into your being, tested through ancestors, refined through survival. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust the deep intelligence within. You don't need to understand everything, control everything, know everything. Just be. Just exist. Just trust the systems, the instincts, the ancient wisdom. Like a snake with its venom, you have what you need, already present, already perfect. Rest now, like a serpent in the sun, confident, complete, trusting. Knowing that what you carry is enough, is intelligent, is exactly right. Let that image drift through your mind, settling, calming, soothing. The coiled serpent, the calibrated venom, the millions of years of refinement, all present, all ready, all perfect, without effort, without thought. You are refined. You are adapted. You are intelligent in ways you don't even know. Trust the depths. Trust the instincts. Trust the ancient wisdom within. Sleep now, peaceful, trusting, complete. Like a snake in its perfect design, knowing its place, trusting its gifts. Everything is well. Everything is exactly as it should be. Good night.